I live in Alabama, and I know you don't always associate the state of Alabama with mountains, but believe it or not, Alabama has some pretty beautiful mountains. We host the southernmost of the Appalachian Mountains. And in this video, I'm gonna take you on a one-day, one-night adventure through some of those mountains via the Pinhoti Trail. With me on this trip is my middle son, Eli, and my friends Joel and Joe. In total, we hike about 12 miles on the Pinhoti Trail, starting at the southern terminus. We hope this video inspires you to get out there and explore a little piece of Alabama for yourself. Our first stop was the Pinhoti Outdoor Center. And this is located in, I'm probably going to botch the name of this town, but Sylacauga, Alabama. It is a outdoor center, resource center, hostel, you name it, campground. It's an awesome place, has bunk beds, full kitchen, bathroom, showers, a little store, a map and planning center. Really neat place, but we came here because we're only taking one vehicle to get to our put-in point at the southern terminus. So we need someone to pick us up. And now they offer a shuttle service for, I believe it was like $30. They'll pick you up and drop you off. Awesome service. So if you're struggling, you know, I'm only going alone and I don't have anybody to pick me up at the end of the trail where I'm going to, be stopping. This is a solution to that problem. Down the road from the general store, that one came out. You can find the Pinhoti Outdoor Center on Facebook and, find them on Google Maps and get a more exact address. So after we did a quick jump start on this van, the shuttle van, we're on the road and heading to the southern terminus of the Pinhoti Trail. And Chuck was our driver, and along with him, there's another gentleman who was traveling with us, the four of us. I didn't get his name, unfortunately, but this guy, you can see in the front passenger seat, was hiking from Key West all the way up to his home in Montreal, Canada. So really interesting guy, very inspiring, very positive, and it was awesome to talk to him while we were en route here. So this is the van, and this is where he dropped us off, and we hiked to the southern terminus. It was just under a mile to the southern terminus, and this is what it looks like here, the beginning of the 335-mile Pinhoti Trail, which is going to eventually terminate northeast of here at Springer Mountain, which is the southern terminus of the Appalachian Trail. So every trail, every major trail in the U.S. has its symbols and its blazes. Pinhoti Trail utilizes a turkey footprint, and blue blazes. So here it is, the sign that says the beginning of the Appalachians. This is the beginning of the Appalachian mountain range. And Flag Mountain, which is the mountain that we're currently hiking up to the top of, is the southernmost Appalachian mountain that exceeds 1,000 feet. Flag Mountain, I think, comes in at about 1,152 feet elevation. So I had seen other videos of people hiking, the first sections of the Pinhoti Trail, but their videos just really didn't do it justice in terms of the elevation changes and the climbs and the intensity of these climbs. I've hiked, significant portions of the Appalachian Trail and other mountains for that matter, but this ranks up there with some of the most intense ones I've ever hiked. It is not for the faint of heart, for sure. The Flag Mountain Tower was built in 1935 by the Civilian Conservation Corps, and it stands 50 feet tall at the very summit of Flag Mountain, so it offers you an amazing view of the surrounding area. So after a quick break, we hike on. These are some of the old cabins that were built by the CCC back in the 30s as well. Currently, these are being used by the property caretakers, and if I'm not mistaken, these are volunteers that come and stay on the property and just look after it. They maintain it, and sometimes they're there as like a resource to visitors. So immediately we're just caught off guard by some of the great views that this hike has to offer. On this first day, we're going to end up hiking just 9 miles. And Joe and Joel were a little bit more unexperienced in backpacking, so we kind of just wanted to dabble a little bit in this experience and in this trip and see how they might like it. And so we just did the 9 miles on the first day, and then the second day, we're just going to end up doing 2 to 3 miles. But amazing, amazing views down in this valley. And the body of water you see down in the valley is what I believe is the Coosa River. Now, this short hike offers tons of opportunities to refill water, so you don't have to carry a lot of water with you. You'll see little streams like this, and you'll cross them every few miles. So you can bring a simple water filter like a Sawyer Squeeze or something along those lines and just refill your water containers along the way, and it greatly reduces the amount of weight that you need to carry. Also along the way in the Pinhoti Trail are these shelters. And these shelters are free to stay in. This one was just a few miles in, so we chose not to stay at this one. It was a little bit too early in our hike. But you can see this one accommodates 3 people on these shelf type beds, 2 to 3 people. And it's just a way to stay out of the rain, stay dry. And directly out front of this shelter is the Coosa River. You could also camp down here along the banks of the river. You can legally camp anywhere along the Pinhoti Trail as long as it's not on private property or near a paved road. Some of the Pinhoti Trail does traverse paved roads, so you don't want to camp right on the side of those. But a lot of efforts are being made to expand awareness of the Pinhoti Trail, but also conservation around it, and to move some of the trail off of paved roads and more through mountains and state forests and that sort of thing. Of course, it's time for lunch break, and I just pack a lot of dry goods, and I filter water from the creeks and boil it and make food using the natural water source. And again, this is to greatly reduce the amount of weight that I need to carry. So eventually you hit Highway 56. And this is a paved road, and you're going to stay on this paved road for, I think it's like 3 miles that in total you're going to stay on paved road in this portion of the trail. At first I thought maybe this was kind of like a bummer. You know, I don't like walking along paved roads. You got traffic and stuff coming, but traffic was very minimal. You eventually make it in this little town called Wagufka, and I was told that at the back of this church there is a hose bib where you can refill water if you didn't bring a water filter or something. But eventually you make it into the little town of Wagufka, a quaint little southern town here in central Alabama. From what I understand, this was founded back in the 1850s by a group of about 40 Cherokee and white settlers who were fleeing the Indian Removal Act and the Trail of Tears and being relocated to Oklahoma. And so this building actually dates back to 1853 and served a number of roles for the town here of Wagufka. But really cool little general store. A lot of neat little treasures inside. But if you need last minute snacks or provisions or drinks, this is the place that you want to stop. They have weird hours though, and their hours weren't posted anywhere, so maybe call ahead of time and see what their hours are. But a lot of cool oddities and history that you can take in here. Of course, you may be greeted by a few dogs. Some other people in different videos were saying that there was some dogs just to the west of the Baptist church there that were running out and trying to attack them. We didn't have any problems with any dogs. All the dogs we encountered were very friendly, but I would recommend you keeping like a can of pepper spray or one of those little dog clicker bell sound things that they make to repel dogs. Even your hiking poles, but just be on the lookout for them. The dogs that we came across, like I said, were super friendly. So after a quick break in Wagufka, we're going to move on. We're going to head further east on Highway 56. And let me stop and say that we could have done this hike without this Far Out app, but let me just stop and recommend you download and purchase this app called Far Out. Once you download Far Out, go ahead and purchase the Pinhoti Trail map. So the Far Out app is free, but the Pinhoti Trail map I think is like $12 or $13. And I loved having this app along the hike. It offered so much insight and direction. It was very detailed. You could see people's comments at different points of interest. Very, very great app. So download Far Out and then purchase the Pinhoti Trail map. So take note of the water level of this creek. We're getting very close to our campsite for the night. This is what's called Mill Creek. It's just south of Highway 56. And Joe decided to cross it via the tree here, and he successfully made it across. So it's time to set up camp, and we're camping along the banks of the Mill Creek, a beautiful little stream that flows through the forest here and provides some great white noise for us sleeping. And of course, Eli's taking a quick break with some chicken salad and some crackers. But take note again of the water levels. We are kind of at a low point in the hike, so you want to be mindful of if there's rain in the forecast. Water levels can come up, and you don't want to be too close to those bodies of water, and the water is going to rise pretty quick. Joe was kind enough to bring us all some steaks, so we grilled some steaks over the fire. He sprinkled some salt and pepper and some garlic powder over them, and they were delicious. And also, Joe brought some homemade bread dough, and we made some camp bread over the fire here as well. So thanks, Joe, for lugging all that extra weight. Let me stop here and say that Joe is also getting into YouTube, and his YouTube channel is called Wood Nation. So he would really appreciate it if you stop by and check out his YouTube channel. He is making and probably has already posted his perspective of this trip on his channel. So go check it out. And he does a great job, so let's get him some additional subscribers from my channel. So you can see it's the following morning, and we're breaking camp. It's probably one of my least favorite parts of camping is having to pack everything up. And I mean, from the moment we went to bed to the moment we woke up, it rained nonstop. And I was worried at times in the middle of the night what this might do to the water levels of the creek. So at one point, like 2 o'clock in the morning, I got up and shined my headlamp out in the creek, and I could see the water levels were coming up, but nothing, that would cause us any concern. But it is something you do want to think about, and you can see this is the stream that we crossed the day before, and now those rocks are barely visible. So the water level came up a good 4 to 6 inches. If I was camping like on a sandbar on the side of this creek, I'd be in trouble. You know, all my gear would be soaking wet, if not floating downstream at this point. But this was actually kind of fun crossing these creeks, and this is kind of the unexpected challenges that you have to overcome when backpacking. So what we're doing now is we're backtracking. I think it's about 2 to 3 miles back to the little town of Wagufka, and we're calling our shuttle service and Chuck back at the Pinhoti Outdoor Center and telling him our ETA back at this general store. And I think it was like $20. He can pick you up and bring you back to your vehicle.
Oh my god.
We parked our vehicle back at the Pinhoti Outdoor Center. It's behind a fence. There's video surveillance, and just have that peace of mind that no one's going to mess with your vehicle while you're out camping overnight. So in my mind, definitely worth the $20 and then $30 for the drop off and pick up for the 3 of us. Or I'm sorry, for the 4 of us. You might just like chuck your boots up.
This is the Chipola, though. These rocks would be slick as mess.
Yeah.
Alright, watch out, Eli.
Hit you. Just get in.
Yeah, that's it.
You just stepping across this is no problem.
Dad, how am I gonna carry?
There you go. Got it. Like a pro.
Now I feel like an adventurer.
Y'all didn't know I had eagle.
You prefer to be barefoot? It's whatever. So really cool abandoned house, I guess. If you know any of the history of this place, maybe put it in the comments below. Pretty cool piece of history. Well guys, we're tuckered out, and that's going to do it for our trip. And I really appreciate you watching this video, and if I earned it, consider subscribing and giving us a thumbs up. I hope this video inspires you to get out there, do a little hike, enjoy the Pinhoti Trail, and some of the beautiful sights that Alabama has to offer. You won't regret it.